Hello everyone. Chances are if you've clicked on this video you want to work on your hip mobility and you don't know where to start. So this is the perfect starting point. I have had feedback that my other mobility drills were maybe a little bit too advanced. So this is specific for beginners in mind if you're just starting your yoga or your movement practice, or you just want to get a little bit more movement into the hips. I mean, who doesn't, right? Then this video is perfect for you. I'm going to leave that in because why not? Okay, we're going to start off in an all fours position for me. So just come into a tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Perfect. And then actually take the knees wide and just sit back. Let's come into a child's pose a little bit. Bring the crown of the head down onto the ground. And just start to rock the hips for me. So just massaging in towards the hips. So rocking left from right. Think about rolling in towards the inner thighs, left and right. And maybe a slight squeeze of the glutes, just so we're massaging into the joint that we're going to move the most. So taking one more breath here. And then when you're ready, just slowly come back up onto all fours. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Perfect. So we're going to start with that right leg. We're going to take the right foot up towards the ceiling for me. So try not to lean and sink into the left palm. Keep the belly button in. And fire hydrant pose means we're going to take that right knee all the way out towards the side, like a dog doing its business. I know it sounds grim. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow, and then slowly bring it back in. So just making full circles for me. Try and keep the upper body nice and stable, keeping that contact with the 3 points of the floor, and just trying to get as much movement in towards the hip as possible. Now, I know some of you might not be able to get enough movement like I do, and that's completely fine. Just working with what we've got. So take one more big full circle with me. And then slowly we're going to switch it to the opposite side. So instead of bringing the right foot up, we're going to bring the right knee towards the right elbow. Take it away from the body. Try and make that full circle and bring it back in. So again, just keep rolling. You might be able to feel the glutes activating, that's fine. And if you find any kind of sticky bits, like you can probably see the bit where I'm shaking, try and move a little bit more slower. They're sticky because they need your attention. So give me one more full circle that way. And then exhale to release. Good. Shake it out if you need to. Lean back to release the glutes. And we're going to go to the opposite side. So left hand side, grounding through the palms. Left leg goes high. Flex the toes. Knee comes around the outside. So think of trying to get the knee in line with the hip. Bring the knee towards the elbow and then full circle back round. And again, just keep repeating. So we're staying strong through the arms. We're trying to just isolate that movement in towards that left hip socket. Good. Keep breathing fully. Try not to hold the breath. Give me one full circle this way. And then slowly switch the direction. So left knee comes in. Left leg goes all the way out. Try and kick the foot up and back and then return it to center. Good. Few more rounds. Just trying to get into all those sticky spots. I don't know about you, but I'm already sweating. Good. Give me one more round. Perfect. And then slowly release. Sit back a little bit. Shake it out if you need to. And then when you're ready, we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to come into a little bit of a downward dog. So knees nice and bent. You can pedal out the legs. Just give the hamstrings a little bit of love. The more open the body is, just in general, the easier this is going to feel on us. Good. And then from here, we're going to do these little malasana crunches, but we're going to take it easy and slow. So from here, I want you to bring the feet as wide as the mat for me. I want you to walk the hands in maybe halfway of the mat, and I want you to soften the knees already. So as you inhale, we're going to come high up on the toes. The knees can stay bent. And as you exhale, I want you to push the heels towards the floor, and then bend the knees as if we're coming into a squat. Good, just as far as we can. So the inhale, we rock forward, we lean out of that intensity. And then the exhale, we sink the glutes down and bringing it in. Few more times. Breath in. Just try and cue the movement with the breath. Breath out, bring it down, bend the knees. Few more times. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, push the heels to the floor. Perfect. Give me one more round like this. So really thinking of when you're sinking back to just sink that glutes back. Keep the heels on the floor and hold it there. So option to stay here if this is already you're feeling it. Push to the outside of the feet. Or option to begin to walk the hands back. And as you walk the hands back, try and lengthen the spine. Maybe your hands get here and that's totally fine. Maybe your hands walk in, but what I don't want is those heels lifting. So just walk the hands in as much as you can with keeping the heels on the ground, with keeping the weight on the outside of the feet and the spine nice and long. I know, squeeze the glutes for extra, it's going to be active. If you're pretty flexy and you want to come into that full malasana for a second, please do. But try not to let the knees roll in. Try and push everything and keeping that spine nice and long. Breathe in there. Hold for 3, 2, I feel you, and 1. Walk it back out, come into that downward dog. Give the hips a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a wriggle, whatever feels good. Perfect. Now we're going to start with the left hand side. So that left foot for me, I want you to take it all the way outside towards the left palm. So if you need to use the hand to just take it forward, feel free. I want you to drop that right knee down, untuck the toes, and hold it here. You can come high up on the fingertips. Fingers can be on blocks or books, it's up to you. And again, just take a moment to just wriggle the hips side to side. Notice what's happening in that left hip. Good. Now, option to stay with right knee on the ground. Right hand down. Option to tuck the toes and pull the right knee off the ground. Now, as you inhale, we're going to send that left arm all the way up. Big breath in. And as you exhale, we're just going to curl in towards ourselves. So we're getting a little bit into the spine as well. A few more times. Big inhale. Stay strong through that left foot. Open it up. Exhale to pull it in. Try not to sink in the hips. Keep the legs active. One more time. Big breath in. Lift it up. And then as you breathe out, we're going to tuck that left arm in. We're going to turn the feet to the length sides of the mats. Lift the hips and come into a wide-legged forward fold. Perfect. So again, let the knees go soft, let the belly get heavy, just to sink towards the floor. And we're going to do something that I call surfer squats. It's not quite as intense as your Skandasana, but it's our journey there. So the hands stay in front of you. We think about lengthening the spine, pulling the shoulder blades down. We're going to take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, I want you to bend in towards that right knee for me. So just a little bit of a weight. Again, only so much so that the heel stays on the ground. And then we inhale to lift it up. We exhale, take it to the left. And we just keep shifting from side to side. We feel that shift in weight. We feel the opening into the inner glutes. We're keeping the spine nice and long. And again, we're not into competition to see how low we can go. It's about the control. It's about the strength. So every time you bend into a knee, think of pushing to the outside of that foot and sending the chest forward. Move with the breath. Move in tune. And hopefully at some point, as we keep going, you're going to feel like, oh, this feels actually good. I can do this, which is good. Give me one more breath. Perfect. And then the next time you come down towards that right foot, I want you to hold it there. Hands can walk towards the right foot. Again, hands can be on the block. Try not to let that right knee roll in. Keep pushing it away. Breathe. Hold it there. For 5, for 4, we got this. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to lift it all the way back up. And then as you exhale, I want you to turn the toes in towards you. Bend the knees slightly, bring the weight back in towards the heels and slowly rise up. Good. So heels in, toes out. We're going to play with our goddess a little bit before we go on to the opposite side. So as you breathe in, I want you to send the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, keep the weight to the outside, tuck the tailbone under, so the spine is just sinking down low. And then inhale, we're just going to rise it up. Good, a few more times. Exhale, bring it low, keep the weight to the outside, keep the spine long. Breath in to rise. Breath out, lowering it down. One more time, big breath in, lift it up. Breath out, sink it all the way back down. Give me one more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the knees, spine long, hold it there, push to the outside of the feet. Don't let the knees cave in. For 3, 2, I know, and 1, slowly release. You're going to turn towards your left leg. I'm going to switch sides so I don't give you my butt, and then come back in towards that downward dog. Good. And then just give it a little bit of wriggle. If you need a break to come down onto your knees, feel free. If you want to move from your kneeling posture for the next one, again, that's totally up to you. So now we're going to go to the right-hand side. So that right foot's going to step outside of the right palm. Again, use the hand if you need to just shuffle it forward. Left knee comes down, hands can go on blocks if you need a little bit more height and bring the floor up to you. And just take a second to register. How does the right hip feel? You can give yourself a shake from side to side. Just getting in towards that hip joint, finding a little bit of movement. Perfect. And then we're going to come from the twist. So the left knee can stay down, or you can tuck the toes and lift up that left knee. Left palm stays down, right arm goes high on an inhale. And then as you exhale, you curl that right hand in towards the left thigh. A few more times, inhale. Raise it all the way up. Exhale, bring it down. One more time for me, big breath in. We're lifting, we're staying strong through the back heel. And then as you exhale, that right hand comes in, you're going to lift the hips, and then slowly come back towards the center of the mat again. Hands come out in front of you, again they can be on blocks, and just begin those surfer squats. So it's a second time round, you should be feeling nice and warm, you might feel like the movement's getting a little bit more fluid. And if you can, try and keep your butt closer to the ground as you shift from side to side. If you're already there and can do this without hands, I don't know why you're doing the beginner video. Perfect. The next time you come towards the left, hold it there. You can walk the hands out a little bit, chest forward, and breathe. So keep pushing to the outside of that left foot. I know which foot's my weakest, that's for sure. And breathe. Hold in for 3. For 2, and 1. Inhale, hips high. Good. Push the weight back into the heels and slowly rise, coming up. Good. So we're going to get a little bit into the rotation this time. So we're still going to do our goddess squats, but we're going to take it slow in moving in and out, internal and external rotation. So from here, you can bring the hands on the hips for stability. You're going to take a big breath in, heels in, toes out. As you breathe out, we're going to sink into that goddess one more time. Now this time, I want you to lift that right heel up. And then as you exhale, you're going to turn the right knee in towards the center to gaze towards the left. Good. So you come into a little bit of a lunge. And then inhale, lift it up. And then exhale, bring it down. Left hand side. Left heel goes up. Left knee comes down, turning towards that right knee. I know. Inhale, lift it up. So as slow and controlled as you can. If you're near a wall and you need to use it for stability, feel free. Just move in and out of this external rotation to get a little bit more movement into the hips, which is what we all need, given we're probably working from home quite a lot, right? Give me one more. So right knee comes down, back through center. Slowly twisting towards the right, left knee comes down. Fabulous. Come back through center. Bring the hands onto the knees, roll the shoulder blades back just for a bit. Little bit of pressure to the inner thighs to help open them up. Hold for 2. And 1. Turn back towards that right foot. And then slowly come down into a seat for me. So the last little ones we're going to do on the floor. We're going to do a shoebox shape, which is going to work on the mobility of the legs. So from here, I want you to think about coming into 2 90-degree angles with the legs. So with me, my left foot's forward, the knee is in line with the hip, and the ankle's in line with the knee. I'm making a nice 90-degree angle. The right knee, once more, is at 90 degrees. The knee is right in line with the hip. If it feels funny on the inside of the right knee, that's fine. It's the internal rotation. And the right foot's in line with the knee. And just from here, all we are going to do is lean forward towards that left foot. Apply a little bit of pressure, keep the belly button in, and then as you inhale, I want you to lean back, lift the knees up as slow as you can, come towards the middle of the mat, and then as you exhale, we go 90-90 towards the right. So super nice and slow, those knees come down, We're leaning forward, we're loading the weight towards the right foot. And then inhale to rise once more. And just keep moving from side to side. And I want you to think about moving slow and just get a picture of the top of the femur, so the top of that leg bone, just rolling in towards the hip socket. So mobility is all about just gaining movement and strength, so control of the joint instead of just stretching it, right? Give me one more each side, super nice and slow. If you're moving forward like me, that's good. Perfect. And then slowly take it to the right one more time. Lean forward, load that leg. And the next time you bring it through center, I want you to hold it here. I want you to extend the legs as much as you can. So if you need to place a block underneath the sit bones to get a tilt in the pelvis, feel free. If you need to keep the knees bent, again, feel free. I'm going to keep the knees bent just as a demonstration for what we're going to do. So for the mobility of the hips, we want to be able to roll the pelvis. So from here, think about tucking the tailbone under, leaning back, and then slowly leaning forward, opening the chest, trying to bring the belly button down towards the floor. So it's kind of like a bit of a Beyonce twerk, even though I don't want to say that on YouTube, but that's where we are. Good. So just keep thinking about rolling. And if you're doing this and watching me and thinking, oh my God, my hips do not move, this is where we start. Just bring the hands down. Even if it's these micro movements of rocking forwards and back, just getting all that kind of junk moving in the hips, it's good. We all have to start somewhere. Good. Give me a few more rocks. And then the next time you roll forward, I want you to hold it there. Hands can be behind you. Chest is forward, shoulder blades down, and we're just leaning into that intensity. It feels good for me to shake from side to side. That's why I did it. So if it feels good for you, then go there. Think about toes up, just peeling the inner thighs back, so we're finding nice length here. If you want more, hands can come out in front of you. Don't worry too much about straightening the legs if it compromises the spine, so keep the spine nice and long. Breathe. Hold in there. Try and keep neutral with the neck, so equal space between the front and the back and throat. Breathe for 3. For 2, every exhale, try and go a little bit lower. And 1. Inhale to rise. Come all the way back up. Congratulations, guys. Give it a little bit of a shake. You are done. There's your quick beginner's hip mobility. Let me know if you like it in the comments below, and stay tuned for more.